Awesome. All right. It is up and running. Let me just change this and we'll get right on into it. Perfect. Everything is working fine. Awesome, 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 awesome. I'm just going to get the link for this live stream real fast. Make sure sound is muted, which it is. All right, cool. Post this in the Discord for everyone who is in there. Live. So, what's going on, guys? It's Crypto Analyst here. I hope all of you guys are having a good morning, evening, wherever you guys are from. And welcome to the crypto live stream where I pretty much go in depth, discuss, I do analytics, I do technical analysis, we look up some news, we answer whatever questions that you guys have, and I go through those and I respond, hopefully in a timely fashion, but give you guys answers for whatever you guys are looking for, as well as speak my opinion and my mind about what's happening with the market. So, welcome everybody. I haven't done one of these in about a week. I have been extremely busy. For those of you guys who do not know, I am a business major in college at the moment, and so we're starting to hit that like middle of the semester boom where it's starting to like pick up pace actually. So I have been getting slammed with work. I just finished work. I only ate one meal today, and so I just ran out and got some food. So I got some food next to me, so excuse me if I snack because I've only ate like one meal today. So I hope all of you guys are having a good day. We are going to look at a couple things. As always, we're going to look at Bitcoin, Ripple, and Tron. We're going to take some suggestions and look at some news for, you know, other areas, other sorts, and really talk about the market. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pull up TradingView, but I want to, there's a couple topics I want to address. So the first is Litecoin. I don't know if any of you guys are invested in Litecoin at the moment, but okay, so Litecoin is supposed to come out with Litecoin Pay. Oh, this thing is looking so nice right now. Oh my god. If we hit this thing right on the nose, I'm going to be really happy. Wow. I don't think we could have been any more accurate. Oh my god, we really couldn't have. Man. That is spot on. That is so beautiful. I want to take a screenshot of that. So Litecoin Pay came out, or Litecoin Pay. For those of you guys who don't know, Litecoin was coming out with Litecoin Pay, and so basically, you could use Litecoin to pay in a lot of different places, and in a lot of different areas. You could pay for a lot of things using Litecoin. And that's, in summary, it was like a debit card for Litecoin that you could use all over the place. However, there's problems with it. I think something happened with the card company, the credit card company, or the bank, and they were like, oh, and they like threw a fit, and then they were like, and then Litecoin was like, what the heck? And then they were, you know, they're a bank. You know, they don't like cryptocurrencies unless it's like XRP. But basically, that's what happened. Something like that happened. And then they were like, all right, we're delaying it indefinitely, which means permanently. So they are discontinuing Litecoin Pay. So Litecoin took a huge hit. And then some things, Litecoin's a huge coin, so it kind of affected the market. Litecoin shot down a lot more than everything else, but we see some pullback from a couple other things. People thought the market was resetting. It wasn't. I believe we saw that pretty fast here. Things started going down. I don't know if they're on their way back up, but they barely budged. They barely moved. People are like, oh, it's not resetting. And so that's something you have to always take into account, is that people are going to panic still no matter what. And, you know, you just don't worry about them and you move on. So, actually, hold on, I'm going to do something. Am I allowed to like my own live stream? I'm going to do that because We need some likes in here. Also, guys, if you guys are just coming for the crypto live stream or you're watching this back, do not forget to drop a like on this because it still matters. People can still find this. But anyway, Litecoin Pay was a huge part of like what happened. High for now. All right, cool. Now this is what I'm very curious about, as well as what you guys should be curious about. This is this is where we're at in the market right now, guys. This is one of the most crucial points that we have had since we are at this peak. This is this is a very important moment in time, and it looks like it's gonna break, which is really sad. But I think I mean, again, I said we won't know until like the 3rd or the 4th, like a week from a couple days, from like a day or two ago. But this is something to watch. I told everyone I recommend them checking this twice a day. We are so close to breaking out. It looks like it's not going to, and that's the cold hard truth, is that it looks like it's not going to break out. However, you know, it's a possibility. I want to go ahead and look at these real fast to see what's up. DigiX DAO, game credits. Never heard of this one. Blocknet, BitShares, Tron. Hey, there we go, Tron. You're still really far under. Wait, what? Oh, okay. Yeah, Tron's still struggling, but you know, hopefully Tron will make its comeback soon here. I'm a huge supporter of Tron. I really think it has a bright future and like the deep future, but I think it's cheap to buy right now. Also. Yeah, man, this is so close. That's gonna be hard to watch. It really is. We're about $10,300 at the moment. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over to Ripple, and because you know I've done a couple of videos on Bitcoin recently, but let's go back to Ripple and Tron, the favorites of the people. XRP, BTC. And what we're going to do is we're going to do this off Binance. So we drew up our triangles, and they were fairly accurate for the most part. So I told you guys we have, you know, our big harsh, our longer, less harsh and less long, and then we have our lighter ones here. And so it followed. We almost got this one almost spot on. It was a little bit. It was actually, yeah, it was really close to spot on. We had a little bit further of a drop at the end here. So I could have drawn this out a little bit differently, but it was the exact length almost, and almost the exact depth. This one was almost completely spot on, but again, if this was a little bit further down, it would have been 100% spot on. But again, I wasn't expecting this extra little decrease, which a technical analysis is never going to be perfect. However, this is something, you know, we drew this up weeks ago, and so we've almost been completely accurate. So for this being drawn up weeks ago, in it only being for about what, like a couple hundred Satoshi, only being about 300 Satoshi off, that's not bad for weeks in advance. Very close prediction I had. And so what I said here is that at the end of this triangle, when this continues to keep getting, so we have our, I know I talked about this a lot, but it's something so important that people still don't understand. We have our, you know, our harsh and, you know, kind of long. This is just our harsh and it's our first drop. It's always harsh, and it's always just like, you know, your typical triangle. And then we have our less harsh, but it's longer. And then what we should see here is the formatting start to form. If this forms, then what we should see next is both the less harsh and less long, and that's what we saw form. And so I knew that we are going into this pattern here. Immediately put into this triangle, and I saw the beginning. I believe I started making this around the 10th, yeah, because I saw this start forming, and I was like, okay, well, it looks like it's going to happen, so I drew this up, and then I drew this one up, and then basically I said that this could have another cycle or two. So this is the first cycle. I said I believe that we still have another cycle to go through where we have an even smaller triangle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and draw that out here, where it's something like, and this is going to be super, just super quick. Nothing fancy at all. But it could be something just like this, where we go up a little bit and then we just go down. And it could be something like this. And again, this is very quick drawn up, but what we're going to see is that this is a little bit of a smaller triangle. And that's the thing, is that you're going to progressively get smaller. I'm going to move this even a little bit. And basically that's what's going to happen, is that the cycle is going to repeat itself, but each time it's going to get smaller. That's something to pay attention of and something to realize. I think that this has, you know, a guaranteed one more cycle, probably like two or three realistically. But what we're going to see here is that we're going to see when the cycle ends, we are going to see cryptos either, you know, shoot up, which is I think the most probable, the most likely, or they're going to take another hit and we're going to crash again. I don't think that's going to happen, but I think, you know, it's something that we need to realize is very possible. And I want to make sure that on this channel, I'm not just saying things are going to noon and that you're guaranteed to get like 10x gains and you're guaranteed anything, because you're not. And there's always a possibility of loss, and I want to make sure that everybody knows that, you know, because this isn't JR Business, but or some other, you know, and they're not the only ones. They're smart and they've made a lot of money, and they've obviously made more money than me, but you know, at a certain point you got to stop saying, you know, you only get gains. So okay, so last thing I want to say about Ripple, about the technical analysis. I believe, you know, I said this earlier, March and the beginning of April are going to be critical for cryptos. This is going to be the time. March and the beginning of April is going to be the critical months for cryptocurrency. And that they're going to need to do something big. They're going to need to bring out the bulls, because if they don't by that time, I think it's going to get scary. It'll be scary for me at least. If nothing happens in March or the beginning of April, then things will start becoming a little bit scary. Tron, TRX. Let's look at that. Binance. All right, same thing here. We drew this thing out nearly perfectly. Again, we are barely off. We're off by a couple Satoshis here, and what was this, 439, and it was actually like, so I was about 15, 20 Satoshis off for Tron. Still very, very close graph for how long I drew it in the future. We have our first triangle, we have our harsh drop, we have our less harsh but longer drop, we have our not as harsh and not as long, and then we see it start getting smaller, and then this one's starting to get smaller, and then we thought we were going to see green. But I've always said that Tron is a very, very weird cryptocurrency because it's hard to predict it. It doesn't really follow news. It rarely follows a technical analysis, but it does. It just kind of, you know, it just does its own thing. So Tron is a hard one to call. At the moment, it's flatlined, which is good. I believe it's good for a Tron, because typically when Tron flatlines, it usually means a jump's coming. Oops, what did I just do? My bad. Typically when Tron flatlines, it means a jump is coming, but only time will tell. You know, we're going to zoom in a little bit more here. We see the volume just kind of taking a hit, and that's the big thing that I'm nervous about, more so than anything else. It's very possible that, oops, what we need to do here, so what we're going to do is that we're actually going to move this a little bit. Okay, well, maybe not. So we're going to move this triangle as if it was correct. And so we're going to look at it from another perspective. Alright, so there we have that drawn out, and let's just act as if there's going to be another triangle here. And it's going to be shorter. We need to actually move this over one. So let's just draw this out. And then we are going to, you know, just kind of predict it here. We're going to make sure that this is a little bit shorter, a little bit less harsh. And I think that's a fairly safe triangle to draw. It's possible to see lower lows. It is, but it's not necessarily anything guaranteed, or not even, I would say it's likely, but it's not You know, it's not anything guaranteed. It's Tron. It's a hard crypto to predict here, but it's very possible. Guys, we see this thinning out very fast. Again, it's thinning out, so we will see what the future holds. Kin. I always see Kin and Golem in here. They look like they're solid. I've never really looked into either one of them, but and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and type up cryptocurrency news. We're gonna look at some of the news here. This is something I recommend you guys do at least, you know, twice or once every 2 days. I would recommend doing it every day, but it's something very, very, you know, it really helps you out. It helps keep you in tune. And there's also cryptocurrency news channels that talk about this stuff, but they don't get to talk about everything. So it's a giant multi-level marketing scheme. If you guys don't know, Bill Gates, so something that just happened is that Bill Gates came out and he kind of started ragging on cryptocurrency, saying, this is really stupid. I don't understand why he said this. Bill Gates came out and said cryptocurrency is a direct cause of death, and it's just this bad thing, and you know, it causes death. And I was like, Reddit tore him apart for it. Like, I don't know if you guys checked out Reddit, but Reddit went on there and they just kind of ripped him up for it. And you know, obviously he doesn't like it. One, because he's older, and two, because it'll directly affect him. You know, I'm not gonna say jealous, because he's one of the richest people in the world, but he knows that he had to work hard and he had to do all this crap to get where he is and get all the money that he has and all the influence that he has. And he doesn't want to see that just happen by something as simple as cryptocurrency, or someone jumping on a bandwagon, which, you know, no one's going to be as famous or dethrone him by jumping on a bandwagon. If someone's going to do it, it's going to be someone like, you know, obviously like Satoshi Nakamoto, you know, CEOs of like Ethereum, Ripple, Justin Sun, whether he's going to be the CEO of Tron for however long. I think it's very possible that he easily passes Bill Gates. Justin Sun is projected to be the world's first trillionaire. That'll probably happen, like, obviously, like, later in life, like, probably at least 20 years. But he's projected in, like, 20 or 30 years. Yeah, probably, like, 30 years. I think in 30 years, 20 to 30 years, he will be the world's first trillionaire. That's just my bet. But we're going to see. So if you guys have any coins, I don't know if anybody's in chat right now. I think we got couple people, but if you guys have any suggestions for technical analysis or anything that you guys want my opinion or for me to talk about, by all means, do not be afraid to say those, because I will definitely do it. I know people have told me to do Verge and Dogecoin and some of these other ones, like, and some other coins I haven't heard of, but I'm more than happy to do any kind of technical analysis or talk about any coin. How millennials are using cryptocurrency to build the future. This is a really cool article. This is by Forbes. Well, and it looks like it was a dud link. Continued article. This is another big issue, is that people kind of think, people hear like cryptocurrency and they're like, oh, it's only for young, stupid people who want to make a get-rich-quick scheme, which it's like really not. And so this is something that I had to explain to my friends and my parents and peers and you know, everyone really. I had this discussion, and this actually is a really, really important topic that I want to talk about. It's basically the topic of talking to people who do not understand cryptocurrencies but are into stocks. Cryptocurrencies are not stocks. They are similar, and that's what you have to tell them. You have to talk to them on a level that they know, because their understanding, and this is from a conversation I just had with someone who is a stock trader and, you know, into the stock market. He said, you know, it was two people. They said cryptocurrencies are useless. They have no value. They are an imaginative currency that you cannot hold, you cannot see. There are some algorithm. They're a formula. That's what they said online that you will never be able to hold in your hand, and is only used to buy illegal substances. and it has no real-world practical use or helps. They said, what's the point of holding this thing that you can never hold, you can never see, only used for buying illegal goods on the deep web, black web, and that you can't use anywhere, and it's not helping anything. And I said, well, that's completely not true. And I went on, and this is how you have to talk to them. You have to talk to them on a level that they know. First thing I brought up is, I said, you know what? Bitcoin is just simply this currency that you use, and while it is not like everywhere, I said you can pay for Bitcoin to get into NBA games. You can pay with Bitcoin to fly on planes. You can pay with Bitcoin to get food. I know KFC is now accepting Bitcoin in some places. So not only can you use it for transportation, you can use it for food, you can use it for entertainment, and it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning of this. And I said Bitcoin's not the best example. It's not my favorite. I said let's talk about one that's a little bit that you guys would understand a little bit more, like Ripple XRP. It is a coin that basically helps bank transfers. Instead of taking from 3 to 5 days, they take I believe it's 4 to 6 seconds. I could be wrong, but let's just say 6 seconds to be safe. It takes 3 to 5 days, transferred to 6 seconds, and it saves them 30% if they use Xcurrent, and then an additional 30% if they use Xrapid, which is the actual XRP ledger form, and so on. And so I said, so every bank is going to use this, and what we're finding out now is that money transfer programs and companies have to take it. They don't have a choice anymore because I believe it was MoneyGram and said out that came out and said that they were going to start using it. Now they get the fastest transaction time by far, a matter of seconds instead of a matter of days, and they get it for way cheaper, just with the additional 30% that they're saving now. And so Western Union, as a competitor of them, came out as their complete rival. They came out and they released the fact saying we basically were obligated to join and use Ripple's program, use Ripple's network, use their technology, because our competitor MoneyGram started using it, and therefore we have to keep up with them. They're our competitor, and we basically can't allow them to hold this technology, and for us to not, it'd be too much of a game changer, and we would lose a lot. And so they said they had to jump on, they had to take in Ripple's technology. So now what we're starting to see is this avalanche domino effect of all these different companies having to accept Ripple, and every banks are greedy. Banks, if they can save money and have a faster transaction time by far, that will save them a lot of money, a lot of heartache, and like banks are going to do it. They're greedy. And so I was explaining this to them, and I said, and behind the value of this is that they're using the XRP token. And they said, well, okay, well, why isn't it just a stock then? I said, because it's using blockchain. Blockchain is rarely ever a stock. Blockchain are for cryptos, and that's why Ripple made XRP the cryptocurrency using blockchain rather than having a stock. If you guys look, I don't believe Ripple has a stock. I could be wrong there, but I don't believe they do. I believe that they just have XRP, and they're majority shareholders. Ripple is majority shareholders of XRP. I believe they own 60%. No, 40%. I think they own 40%, excuse me. They own 40% of the XRP that is out there. So, and then I started talking to them about this, and I said, it has real practical use. It's not just on the deep web. I said certain privacy coins are like Monero, Dash, Verge, Bitcoin a little bit, but some of these other coins are, but that's not just what it is here. And so that's something to keep ahead of, keep an eye on. I don't know, a mind on. I think I want to do a video on this. I might. Something that I've been struggling with is that there has not been much of anything happening and this is what I mean. There has been nothing happening with cryptocurrency lately at all. It's gotten to the point where there's absolutely nothing happening that we are now taking NFL star Richard Sherman's opinion on cryptocurrency. Like, why in the world do we care what an NFL player thinks? And I think he's a great football player. I actually really like Richard Sherman. But why in the world does anybody in cryptocurrency, in the crypto world, care about what Richard Sherman has to say about cryptocurrency and its biggest problems? Like, no, like, he's no expert. He's a football player. Like, no one cares. But there is such a lack of news that people are required to that these information and news companies are required to talk about, you know, nonsense, basically, because there's nothing else to talk about in cryptocurrency. Almost nothing's been happening. The last big thing that we had was Litecoin Pay getting canceled, and that was a couple days ago. So there really hasn't been much of any significant news coming out here. Besides, you know, and again, like Bill Gates, you know, he's a little bit more understanding of why we would care about someone's opinion. Venezuela's new cryptocurrency is an even worse investment than Bitcoin. Just when you thought cryptocurrency craze couldn't get any stranger, pops up as an absurd. Petra. See, who is this? Forbes? Yeah, okay. That makes sense. I was going to say, they're going to bash it because it's Forbes. Venezuela doesn't respect private property. I think that I honestly think cryptocurrency could be a good thing for Venezuela. It really could be. So there's not too much else to talk about, guys. I just want to make this video and say that there's really, one, I've been extremely busy, and two, there's not too much else to talk about here. There is really only the little news that we have, and I think what I'll do next is probably do a technical analysis on either Tron or Ripple. Probably Ripple, because Tron's looking a little bit odd, as Tron always does, but Ripple, on the other hand, is looking mighty fine. And so what I'm going to do, and probably in my next video, is clean this chart up, mess with these predictions a little bit, and then we'll see where we move on from there. I don't want to make this video too long, this live stream too long. I know not too many people are in here, but people do watch this back. So, yeah, guys. I want to make sure that I don't think there's anyone in here at the moment. If there is, there's very few. But that's just what my thoughts on the market are. So what I like to do is at the end of every stream, let's do like a little bit of a prediction. So what is our market cap at? All right, 439. What we need to see here is a $500 billion market cap. We need to see this in March. We need to see, honestly, we need to see a $600 billion market cap in March or the beginning of April. If we don't even see a $500 billion, then we're in trouble. We really are. And again, I guess super long term it doesn't matter that much. But things like, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but people below me just like sounded like they just knocked a wall in. EOS is dropping a lot. Wow, dang. EOS might be a good investment pretty soon. I remember months ago people told me to buy it at $7. So yeah, I don't know. We need to see things like Tron, things like EOS, Cardano, Neo's in an alright spot. We need to see some of these start going back up. Ripple especially, and Bitcoin, another one. It needs to go up. We need to see Bitcoin go back up to around 13, 14, 15,000 for anything significant to happen. So this is my opinion. I said this in my recent video. beginning of March, we're gonna see a pretty significant point in time, and then the end of March, beginning of April. Excuse me. Yeah, end of March, beginning of April is going to be the second important time period that we're going to have to watch. In between then, we're just going to have to cross our fingers and hope something, you know, mad happens. But there's not too much else to talk about here, guys. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bring this video to an end. Hopefully, we can come out and hopefully get some crypto news soon here. There hasn't been too much news coming out about cryptocurrencies lately, so I'm sorry for, you know, the lack of videos because of schoolwork and lack of news, but I will try to find something to put out as content. I was glad I was able to get this crypto live stream off tonight, so that we can at least have something going out there. Also, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Do not forget to like and subscribe if you guys enjoy this and want more content like this. And that's pretty much all there is. Let me just check one more time. I don't think there's any. Yeah, there's no one. Yeah, there's two. And I'm gonna go ahead and sign this out. But I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Tell me if you guys do want more or less live streams. I do them, but not too many people tend to come by. But people tend to like to and rewatch them. And yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully coming out tomorrow. See you guys around.